Did you get stuck out there? Was you stuck? Hello. Good morning. My dog was stuck out in the garage. Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Good morning, Angel. Oh, yeah. Boy, I don't know about you, but I kind of woke up a little cranky. I did sleep in. Some stuff happening. Cranky. Cranky. Oh, I love sage. It's one of my favorite things. I didn't really realize how much I loved it until I started spending time with the Cherokee. I mean, I use a lot more than they use. They probably would see it as wasteful, but I really like the smoke. Smells good, feels good. Well, it's Sunday. Sunday fun day. Game day for me. But for this morning, we're going to go ahead and tap in, see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us. Grand Rising. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. Planetary system. What's happening with the planetary switch? The change. Everything's coming undone. Oh yeah, authentically. I woke up thinking about those tantric sex magicians, and I was like, grrr. I'm not even kidding. I was like having a bad attitude. I have no idea where that came from. I just woke up with it. It is funny, isn't it? I thought it was pretty funny. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I do hope that this Sunday morning, well, or whatever time it is that you come across this channel, is treating you kindly. Certainly. The sun is out. It's another beautiful blue sky day. If it weren't game day for me, I might just go for a drive, but perhaps I'll get out for a little bit and go get some goodies for game night. Gonna have some kind of food or dessert to go with our tea. All right, planetary system, Spirit, Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, what message would you like to share with the people, please? Holy Spirit, what message would you like to share with the people, please? I know we've got some changeover, some planetary leadership and governing systems, these programs that various governing systems have been playing with. They're kind of shutting them down. We're going in a new, different direction. Hello. It appears that there are some people that are going to be what they called it was, they said it was time to collect the energy. Now that's what the adversary said, so. Oh, geez, Mike, are you serious? It's so strange to me that they don't have any more class than that. They want to be called a man, but all they can talk about is boobs. All right, in the central position. In the central position, what do we have for the people, please, Holy Spirit? Well, we got the Page of Cups. Could be somebody making a sensitive new love offer. As I was bitching this morning about tantric lovers and their sex magic, I heard, is this love, is this love, is this love, is this love that I'm feeling? And I'm like, no, it's not. This ain't love, no. All right, in the challenge position for this Page of Cups, what's going on? Happy surprises, new love, dreaming about new love. In the challenge position, well, we got, oh, this is reversed. The wheel reversed. Bad luck, no control, breaking the cycles. Negative phase, resisting change. Ooh. Well. Page of Cups been misusing his love offers? What's been going on? In the subconscious. Cold, rainy day in Florida. Bummer. Well. Isn't there a song like that? Whoo, right? Negative thoughts. So the Page of Cups, you know, they're wanting to get this new love, but in a challenge position, they've got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So we're breaking the cycles of whatever kind of love offers these pages have been offering. Hello, Gloria. Thank you. Good morning. And so they're going to go through a negative phase. They're being restricted because of how they've been defiling the sacred connection and union. It's a rainy night in Georgia too? Holy moly. Y'all are making me want to get in my car and go for a joyride in the sunshine. Sing some songs and stuff. But my guests are going to be here. I've got a few hours. So the King of Swords is here in the recent past. He's got clarity over what's been going on here with these love offers, intentions and expectations. And again, the Ace of Swords. Hello, Earth Angel. Yep, so the King of Swords has the Ace of Swords clarity about these love offers and how they've been betraying love. In the near future, well, this kind of came out reversed. So we've got the Seven of Cups reversed. So we're coming into an alignment here now. But somebody may be overwhelmed by some kind of fantasy. You know, they've been causing confusion for people for a long time. It could have reversed on them. It may have, this confusion magic that they've been putting out on people, it may be back on them. Raining in the UK. Hello, good morning, everybody. I didn't know you could retract messages. Oh, yes, I did. I'm thinking of emails. That's difficult to do. I still don't know how to do that on my emails. When you send an email and you want to retract it, I still don't know how to do that. Okay, so we got the Ten of Cups in the reverse. So, all right, Page of Cups is having some bad luck here. They're being restricted because the King of Swords, Divine Masculine, knows the truth about how they've been handling these love offers. Ace of Swords, there could be some kind of cutting out, a surgery, a separation and they're being overwhelmed by their illusions, their fantasies, their lack of purpose. They're not taking part in this 10 of Cups union. Shattered dreams and disconnection from these unions because they've been misusing them. They have not been serious, dedicated, and loyal. Yeah, JT, there is somebody here with the username Earth Angel, though. Yes, indeed. Oh, and then environment, we got the King of Cups. The love of divine masculine. Intentions, wait, hopes and fears. Hopes and fears. Oh, somebody's having a nightmare. And the outcome. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. So there's some decisions being made in order to bring about some kind of a balance, some kind of a harmony. On the side of this card, it talks about duality and togetherness, a settling of the energy regarding union and love. So it could be something like that too. We're going to balance the scales out regarding love in these contracts because they've been lying about it. You know, they've been coming up with love bombing and gaslighting and using proper words of love, but their heart is full of malice, and they've only been using these connections as a harvest. And, you know, they've not taken love seriously at all. So it's dangerous to give your love to somebody like this. Because their only intention is to siphon the love out of you and then take off. Like a hoser. Take off like a freaking hoser. So we've got this Knight of Swords is trying to think fast, man, because this is a completion of your heavy burden and potentially the beginning of theirs. You're releasing this baggage and you're moving on with your 10 of Pentacles. You're like, I'm out of here, crazy Jack. I'm out of here, you little wacko. You little wacko. And you got your boundaries up. You're like, hey, I'm tired, I'm weary, you know, and I'm tired. I'm just... Yeah, and these ones are upset because they're getting left behind by the Most High God and this Emperor. They're out of here. They got to go. They got to go because of the history and their desire to control the foundation of their counterparts. Everything that they did, everything that they worked for is going to be in an utter collapse. Because they came against you, trying to steal your freaking 9 of Pentacles, your life of luxury. You've got your freaking swords up. You're like, thou shalt not freaking pass. And if you try, you're going to get death, man. There's a freaking tower here. They cannot come in and siphon these third-party enemies. These third-party enemy devils can no longer come in and siphon the happiness out of their feminine counterparts or their masculine counterparts. Take it as it resonates. They can't come in, make a small love offer, get a sexual intimate encounter, and then drain the happiness out of you and sacrifice to this damn devil anymore. F no. F no. So there's a celebration here. We got the Queen of Pentacles. She's got the coins, and very swiftly, somebody's in fear because very swiftly we've got some research that's coming to light regarding this passion project. Every young man has been on board with going out and swinging somebody for a freaking profit, and now they're under judgment. These magicians are under judgment for their stupid little tantric sex tricks. Their prostitution profit ring. And because they're disappointed here, they're in regret. They have failed. They're in regret and they have failed. There's a rebirth, a restructuring as to who you're going to give your charity to, who you're going to share yourself with. Because there's those who have been willing to work for a reward, a result, and those who have just been working to come up and destroy that for somebody else while taking taking it, the reward from the effort. Yeah, angel of authenticity. I haven't even started a fire yet this morning. I got right up after my little mental tantric sex magician rant and sat right down here with my tea. Yeah, it's just nasty, man. You take a sacred union and you turn it into something freaking nasty to manipulate others in the world with. I mean, that's just sick, man. Pisses me off. It's supposed to be sacred union and manifestation as a couple, as a unit for your life, but they're using these tantric sex magic bullshit things to f other people's lives up so that they can somehow gain a profit out of this magnificent sexual interaction. Whatever, they turned it into something vile. It grosses me out. It makes me sick, actually, to think about it. I don't want to participate in that kind of crap. It's dirty. But it's there, and it's attached to everybody and everything, isn't it? Because it's collective energy, and they get it out there, and they stick it all over everybody and everything, and I don't know how to clean it up, guys. So the Page of Cups is here. They're dreaming about love. Oath. So this fella's been involved in the tantric sex bullshit. That's what I woke up with this morning. He wants to get a marriage. He wants to marry somebody. Why? Because this is how they make profit. This is how they make profit. They gain a marriage contract and then they F up the womb of power for profit. They can't turn the wheel on this. They have no control. They're going to go through a negative phase, some bad luck, because they've been causing illusions. They're having a malfunction. So they're thinking about unity and diversity. They could be thinking about you. Divine Feminine is coming into this phase where she's got her reward. Look at that. Roses, she's got her flowers. The rose has her flowers. Look at all those. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. She's throwing freaking flowers. Catch it, catch it. So he's thinking about this little love offer that he's been given, but the Divine Feminine is committed to this unity and diversity. So it could be that she's married to more than just one. There's 3 bouquets here. So marriage for this Divine Feminine isn't just to one man. It's like she's marrying the entire community, and she is throwing out her magnificent wealth, her gifts, in order to support that community. There's no man there. It's an oath for unity in diversity. So this is like a mother figure, and she's throwing those bouquets, like for, what happens when somebody catches the bride's bouquet? Well, she's up next for marriage. She's up next for a contract. She's up next for something grand, right? Harmonious and balanced relationship within the community. This guy is malfunctioning because she's giving her love to everybody. He wanted to come in and claim that bouquet and that woman for himself, but she's like, you know what? I'm supporting the whole community now. It's like this one's for that one, and this one's for that one, and this one's for that one, and like bullseye, boom, 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 all that good luck and all of that good fortune. She's just pouring it in. And it's embracing the differences, right? So it's diversity. It's like there's no prejudice. So this page is malfunctioning. They're being restricted. She's not throwing him, like, she's throwing those bouquets at somebody, but she's not throwing them at him. She's throwing him in the opposite direction. He's like, look, I got this little love offer. And she's like, look, I'm already married to the community. She's married to the community. She's like, get out of here, Jack. I don't want this little nasty cup of love. I got all this stuff I'm sharing with the community. So she's married to the community. And she's got this little page who's coming up wanting to possess all she is giving to others, right? She's just throwing it out there. He's malfunctioning because she's breaking the cycle. She's not pouring all of that love into this page. She's pouring all of that love into the community. And she's hitting her mark. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. Unity in diversity. It's for the people. This Page of Cups is having a lot of negative thoughts because they're restricted out of it. She's not throwing it to him. He's just a little schwinkster. He's a schwinkster that has been profiting off of her gift, but she's giving it to other people now. She's not throwing it into him. She's throwing it out, boom, 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 into the community. She's like, hey, dude, I tried to give my love to you, and what did you do with it? You freaking restricted me. You bound me. You sacrificed me to a devil for shekels, man. So now all that I am is going into the community, a diverse community. And so little dude is malfunctioning. He's like, oh shit, he needs that energy. He needs those gifts in order to make his life function. And he's not having any luck with it because she's like, she's not pouring it into him. She's like, she's pouring it into herself as the bride. And this could very well be symbolic as the bride of Christ. She's pouring all of her love and all of her well wishes and all of her beautiful abundance into her community. And this page who's been getting rich and siphoning off of her to make his life okay, he's malfunctioning now. Could be some kind of a restriction or an imprisonment. Like he may be going to prison. Comparison. Because he was siphoning out of the womb of power. He was siphoning off of this. So these nasty jacks were out there targeting divine feminines and then comparing who got the biggest gain. And it's like, oh, this bitch couldn't give me the gain I needed, so now he's got to go get another one. Or a cornholio, whoever wants to freaking pour their soul value into his freaking wallet. So now they're being restricted because they're just an asshat. They're a prostitute running around effing people without love in their heart for money. These are gigolos out there having sex for money, breaking people's hearts, misusing their sacred essence of the womb of power. So the King of Swords knows, oopsie. The King of Swords knows the truth about what these guys have been doing. They've been trapping their person and then pulling the money off of them, considering themselves wealthy. So the King of Swords knows the truth about that, and there's no exit. It could be that there's a king. I'm pretty sure, I don't think, because he would have been in the reverse. So the King of Swords, Divine Masculine, knows the truth about these pages, putting a ring on it, getting a marriage contract just so they can sacrifice them to the devil and trap them here so that they can just pull the profit off of them. This is their profit system, to trap their beloved wife or their beloved husband and to pull off of them the profit of their labor. It's a slave. They've been marrying people, sacrificing to the devil, and then making them a slave, making them their personal servant and their energy source. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that everything you want in a man? Oh, yes. So there's no exit here. There's no exit here for this Page of Cups who has been utilizing contracts and oaths, promises in such a way. We've got the Ace of Swords here. So there's absolute clarity regarding this. All of the research has been done. All of the judgments have been cast. Now there's just retribution. A social mask. The truth of the matter is that they're just out there being a prostitute, a gigolo, a Jezebel, collecting money or energy out of the womb of power. These marriage contracts that they then they sacrifice to the devil and then trap and siphon the wealth out of their efforts. These assholes have been getting profit off of their trapped wife. This asshole. They sacrifice her unalive her. She gets reborn into a narcissistic family. And then for a whole lifetime, they get to travel off of this energy. They get this golden ticket. They get to bring invisible men to her home to harvest the energy for profit. Oh, these little nasty fucking pimps. Whores. Treating everybody around them like a whore because that's what they are. Social mask. They're nobody of value. They're putting on a mask, having harvested the energy out of people who do have value. These are worthless cowards who don't deserve that appendage. May it rot off their body. Fucking loser. Fucking loser. So they got overwhelmed by choices. They could have gotten lost in their fantasy. They're confused. Their illusion didn't work. Sorry for my language, guys. I get really upset about this stuff when I think about it, and it happened to me. Look, and they're asking for help. Look, they need help. Did they give you any help when you were out there suffering and all of their nasty jack bro? Yeah, bros before hoes. Oh, come on, bro. Go out there. Tag my chickie over there. She's got a whole bunch of fantastic energy. Just walk in invisible and take it. They did that to me for over 2 decades. They thought it was so fun. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. So now they're stuck in their fantasy. They're seeking help. It could be that their third-party Jezebel is seeking help. They're not taking part in this divine sacred love and union, total love and support. Oh no, because they're so far away from any kind of love and support. They don't love anything. They get married and then they put a ring on it and then they unalive them, sacrificing them to the devil for a rebirth into a narcissistic, abusive family so that they can draw off the energy. These cowards don't deserve to be in the presence of a woman. And they certainly don't deserve that appendage that they've been effing the world with. Getting off on everything. So sickening. Consumerism. That's why. Because they look at marriage contracts as consumerism. They feed on it. They don't pour anything into it. They have no love to offer. So the Uku last night said, there is the way of the man, the way of the woman, and the way of the child. The man builds the house, and the woman fills it with life. And unfortunately, we got a bunch of F-tard, little worthless POS F-boys out there who can't build shit. They can promise to build something, and then they go in and they sacrifice their wife to the devil because they're lazy, no good for nothings. They can't build shit. They can't create shit. They can't support shit. They got to go to the devil and say, "Oh, Daddy, how much do I get for this contract? So that I can pretend that I'm a wealthy man." "Oh, yes, Daddy, devil. How much am I now?" Yeah, they're going to get cut out because they're nothing. They're nothing. They're worse than animals because they actually RAP their own children. Animals don't do that. These entities calling themselves men are worse than the animals, man. That they've been also RAPing and using in blood rituals and such. They're disgusting. Parasitical parasites like the bark beetle, feasting on our family trees. They like to marry into the clan and then destroy the family tree. That's what they do, man. Their favorite weapon of war is relationship. These are interdimensional travelers. Whatever dimension they come from, there's no women. They're all men. And some of them dress up as women, but whatever dimension they're in, that's how it is. And they've been coming in and out of these interdimensional doorways, and they've been trying to take over this realm and transition it into their way of life. And they hate the mother. They hate the feminine, but she's got a lot of wealth and a lot of power, and they need to siphon it, and that's why they're here. In their dimension, there are no women. They don't have the womb of power. They have to come here and siphon out this beautiful wealth, but she's no longer giving it to them. She's like, "F you, interdimensional grasshopper. Go away, you freaking parasite." Oh, look, we've got no. We've got no. So King of Cups is here. And we've got a rejection. So it could be that the love of divine masculine is rejecting these parasites, these bros, these copies. They're pod people. They look exactly the same, but inside they're different. There's no rainbow covenant. There's no rainbow chakra system. There's no rainbow covenant. The only time that it may appear as though that is if they walk into a body, a vessel, a temple, or if they somehow download or extract soul value. I don't know how that works and how the illusion lasted so long. I just don't know. But these exact duplicates, they don't have the empathy. They're not an empath. They don't have the ability to feel. They're not source connected. The only way that they can pretend to be that is if they download the soul value of their bride. Divine masculine, the love of divine masculine and the truth of divine masculine knows that they've been puppeting their people and using them and then siphoning them as they suffer. There's been 17 months of intense research and verification happening here. So the love of divine masculine is saying absolute no. Because so there's a rejection of these consumers within the territory. Divine masculine. So divine masculine, we've got the chiefs, the white chiefs. There's usually 3, and they gather around and they have their discussions, and then they meet within the community and they gather a consensus, and they come in and they decide what is best for the foundation that the people live upon. If there are times of trouble, then the red chief steps in, and the red chief takes on that war duty, right? They're not allowed in this community because the divine masculines who are here to protect the foundation, to build the houses, and to make certain that the woman and the children can be safe here while they love and nurture and care and grow and become and do all that stuff. The men, they got to hold a safe space for that, and that's their job. That's their duty. But we got these guys who didn't want that duty. They just wanted to get married, sacrifice the woman, or do what you need to do with the genders to the devil, and then pull all of these roses off of her. All these big bunches of roses of blessings. They didn't want to build shit. They can't build shit. All they can do is parasite off of it and suck it out. But now these flowers are going straight into the community. So divine masculine knows the truth of it. And the love of him is rejecting those who have been taking advantage of the charity. So now they're in a nightmare because divine masculine is telling these people that have been in this practice to get out of the territory. These blessings are, so she's the nurturer. All these blessings, they nurture the people in the community, right? She's a blessing in the community. This divine mother figure is a blessing, a divine wise woman, an elder perhaps, no matter the age. And these guys, they've been feeding her to the devil and then, recycling her through this thing and then burning her alive many times for daring to share ideas about love, ideas about union with the Most High God, ideas about sovereignty. She's the one with the wealth. And these entities, they didn't want her to share that wealth within the community. They wanted to contract with it and then feed it to the devil for a portion because they're loyal to the devil. And the devil thinks that it owns this planet. And there's that. So they're in a nightmare. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. You're removing the walls built by cultural differences. There's unity in diversity. Back in the day or whatever, it's like this God or whatever was said to confuse the languages, right? To separate the people or the tribes or the Star Nation soul tribes or whatever into a distinct grouping throughout the realms, and then they confused the languages so that nobody could understand each other. And what it sounds like to me is the emancipation of the divine feminine is actually bringing unity. So that, like the twins, it was forbidden for the twins to come together. These ones didn't want the twins coming together because they're too powerful on their own, let alone when they actually come into union. So they didn't want that to happen. And honestly, it may not happen anyway, because I guess this is the way it happens. Or maybe it was just the way last cycle. The twins would come together in the spirit. They would kick ass together. And then they apparently... would go swing their little hearts away all over the freaking world and not actually show up for each other. But it's not, the feminine doesn't have that because there's many connections now, but nobody shows their faces. It's all a need and, very much. Whatever you want to call it. Two of Pentacles. So you're bringing balance to some stuff. You could be juggling some multiple priorities. You're removing the walls built by cultural differences. It's like you're breaking down the barriers. Now, I've heard the adversary or the curator and his team, as I've come to know them, speaking of this woman's language. Apparently, there's a new territory, and this language, it has about 30 words. It's a new language, and the people in the territory are diverse. So there's many religions, many colors of skin, many different skill sets and connections throughout the many layers and levels of life, seen and unseen, right? And so they're coming together and they're working without prejudice, and they're building something phenomenal that is really powerful. And she's throwing all these blessings and she's hitting her target with it. It's the community. Like, this person's not getting it anymore. No, 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 no. She's like, you know what? I've learned my lesson with you. And guess what? Nasty Jack, your appendage just isn't worth the prize that I have to offer. So she's throwing she's throwing those blessings into the community. You know, the walls are closing in. The walls are coming down. Balance is being restored for twin flames. By and for twin flames. You finally came together. The false flames aren't keeping you apart now. You're balancing some decisions. There might be an unexpected surprise. Your channel might be promoted, which is your mind. You may be coming in with some a whole big package of knowledge, some different skills, perhaps, memories of previous lifetimes and knowings. Friends that you once knew might be coming back into the picture. Maybe you'll be remembering that. Whatever it is, you're getting a big surprise, a channel promotion. This could be your mind. It could be your YouTube channel if you have one. It could be your website. Any kind of business that you may be having or communications regarding such. It may pay off. You may be getting a pleasant surprise. You could be, so we've got escape. See, oh, so whatever this is, what the hell? All right, so here's what it is. We've got, apparently, this Casanova is trying to escape the secret weapon. This Casanova abandoned you. So they contracted with you, and then they sacrificed to the devil, and they decided to use you as a slave while you lived a different life of suffering, not even knowing who this little prostitute is, this little Casanova jerk. But they've been pulling off of your energy, and you don't even know who this prick is. They abandoned you. They threw your love in the trash, and you may be here wondering why you've spent your whole life alone. Why you were never married or given an opportunity to be a mother. You're the secret weapon. They're trying to escape you. It could be that you have escaped. These just came out. They gambled with you. And we're going through a digital detox. There's an ultimatum. They've been copycatting you, probably catfishing you from other digital formats or platforms, doing nasty crap, trying to destroy your reputation. They're getting an ultimatum. The button's getting pulled. They could be getting nuked. They might be getting actual nuked for peeping on you. They were warned. They were warned that you were going to have to reach out first, but these ones came in and just decided to devour you, and now danger is approaching them for their digital whisper. They felt for them trying to trap you with a digital whisper, a false framework. You didn't do any of this shit. They were worshiping money while you were trying to push that love up that freaking mountain and get y'all up to the heavenly realms. This little asshole was pulling off of your efforts and selling you for money. They didn't want to go to heaven. They didn't want to get up there and push that love up there and freaking reach God and be all. No, man, they just wanted this money, and they wanted your light so that they could tell God that they were actually doing the work. A good man. But you were doing it all by your damn self. For the entire family. Probably not them, just them either, but the extended family as well. Burying you under their shit, their lack of care, and their lazy, no good for nothing prostitution ways. Little hoe bags, making you carry the burden of their little hoe bag sin, covering you in it. You had to get that shit up that mountain all by your damn self, and it's impossible for them to reverse it. They were pretending to be you, to rest in your energy of hard work, suffering, labor, intense, trying to make it work, man. And now they're distracted because you were able to break through. And now the truth is seen. Now they're overloaded. You were overloaded. And they could very well be now. And then now Jezebel is over there strangling Casanova. She's like, look, you ass, you told me if I prostituted myself, I was going to get to be treated like a freaking princess. And he's like, look, you little hoe bag, you're not, yeah, whatever. Now they're drinking and they're kicking each other because they manipulated everybody. They manipulated Jezebel into copycatting, wearing masks, prostituting herself, and then trying to set up this woman, the wife, who he was also manipulating into a path by dressing her up in this energy and pushing her, driving her into this pathway so that he could frame her as being something. And now there's gossip here. They were spreading rumors, misinformation, trying to keep her away from a distant twin flame. They were trying to keep him away from her by doing all this shit to her. Now they're in the shredder. Guidance from above. They're going in the damn shredder for what they did. They traded the gift for petty gain. They traded the gift for petty gain. And now they got bad news because they missed the damn deadline. They didn't get another contract. They were a false flame. They didn't get another contract. She's throwing this shit into the community. She was freed and emancipated from that contract. And she's like, F you, bop on goo, low-life little page. She's out of there. And her true twin flame is coming in. Yep, rescuing her. Yeah. Because this little jackass that had sacrificed to the devil was the true unfaithful one. He'd been going after the little pizza girls, the little girls, sexing them up. That's what he had been doing, trapping them in contracts. All the little girls. That was his trump card. That was his extra power source. Oh yes, and now he's going to prison for chasing quick gains, for cheating and calling himself a successful, rich person, and now they're going under. Because they had been stripping you of your honor. They're being condemned for stripping you of your honor lifetime after lifetime. Inflated stories and distorted truths. They weren't authentic. They were stealing the honor out of these young people. The trump card, the girls, the hidden power, the purity of the womb of power, of the girls, the pizza. They're going to prison for using their womb as a profit system. Piece of shit. Piece of shit needs somebody to rescue him. They were stealing the honor of these girls and boys. They called them the trump cards and the roses. They're in big ass trouble because they drove them into alcoholism, into drug addiction, into fighting, into lives of chaos while they siphoned out their holiness, their source connected gifts. But you were willing and able to yield to the brutality of it and then to bounce back from it, to bend without breaking. Yeah. And you found out that they were just these are third-party hoe bag gigolos, and you discovered that they were using commitments as a get-rich-quick scheme, breaking people's hearts. Unexpected event is happening to teddy bear boy, little gigolo, little prostitute, selling his little swing out there. He's probably going to lose that swing. He's not going to be able to go F the world for profit much longer. There's harmony and peace and joy happening here. Your savings, your dharma, the profit that you have earned from the suffering that you have endured, is going to bring joy and happiness. You're throwing it into the community. So you've been enfolded into a new family. Like these contracts, you've been emancipated from these many cycles, these centuries long contracts. You've been emancipated of that. So you're throwing this, and then so all of your dharma, this beautiful dharma that you have accrued, all these roses, boom, 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 boom. You got so much profit, and you're bringing joy and happiness to this community. Simple acts of kindness, giving with an open heart, expecting nothing in return, sharing and caring. So that's the fatal blow to this person who made a small offering and took all of those big gifts and then brutalized the feminine and brutalized everything that the feminine loved, took all of that energy that she needed in order to nurture and keep healthy her family, herself, her environment. This little Casanova POS was draining her of all of her energy and pouring it into all of the Jezebels, and then laying the orgy, the nastiness back onto her and saying it was her. These guys are real pricks, man. So what you did though was you discovered the truth of the deal, right? You are addressing the root causes of this failure system regarding the proliferation of family trees of humanity. These guys have just been out here being little whores for profit while denying the spouse an opportunity to be a mother, to be a father, to be stable, in the foundation. Now these guys they can't build a effing house so that she can bring life to it. They take the life and they sacrifice it to the freaking devil and then tell the devil, okay, what kind of house do I get for that devil? Because he's too lazy, too incapable, too unskilled to build his own damn house. So he took the gift and he threw it away. And then he said, okay, devil, what can I have for my portion? Piece of shit. You've found out the root of the problem is this lazy, no good for nothing prostitute. So now you're going to ensure the future by preserving the delicate new beginnings of these new families. You've rooted out the issues from the source, and you're promoting stability by removing these entities that have caused such a destabilization within the territory, within the family unit, by exploiting them and their family, and draining their family tree of any kind of wealth and stability that it ever enjoyed. This is a parasite. This is somebody who just is here to feed. Whatever dimension that they are from, they don't have the wealth. The wealth comes from this person, the bride. And they don't have it in their dimension because they're all men. So they're over here for harvest. They wanted to turn the men here they put atrazine, which has been proven to change the gender in frogs. It's in the water supply. They were hoping to turn all of the men into their bitches and then extract the wealth and the vital force out of these women and then use their womb as a freaking genetics research mechanism. Bad. But this just kind of fell out. So we got happy endings with a question mark, and then we've got new beginnings. New beginnings. You might be feeling skeptical of a happy ending or a happy new beginning, but that's just to be expected. You gained fresh perspectives, seeing the world anew, embracing new beginnings, and letting go of the past. Because this is a Casanova. He's like, hey, I got a big old heart here. And it could very well be that that's this King of Cups. He's feeling a little skeptical about it, this King of Swords, because, maybe they got trapped by Jezebel. And that's how they do. They get their little copycats out there to copycat the real thing, and then they trap them in there and then bind them with their fluids and all of that good stuff. So they may be skeptical, but we've got a new beginning here. Those people who were using, they saw a destiny with you as dollar signs. They saw marriage with you as dollar signs. They didn't have any love. They didn't have any idea about building a house, maintaining the house, creating a safe space on the territory for the children that you would bear together. He didn't have any idea of bearing children with you. He just wanted to go out and be a showboat, a playboy, a freaking rolling in the dough, right? But they made an unfair assessment of this marriage contract. They made an unfair assessment of what it meant to be in union with you. God said that every nasty thing that they did to these divine feminines is going to be done to them. It wasn't very nice to look at a woman or a divine masculine as a profit system, you know, but the world is full of prostitutes, and that's how they make their money. And they convinced everybody that reckless sex was the way to go. Freedom! Yeah, okay. All right. All right, man. You've got the mother figure out here wanting to build a family, wanting to pour all of that beauty, all of that love, all of those gifts into those lives, into the children, into the one that she was creating them with. And what did they do? They sacrificed her to the damn devil for a portion. Because they're lazy. No good for nothing. They can't feel. It's probably a clone. Doesn't have any ability to feel love or care or anything. They got broken somehow. And they didn't do the work to heal. Wow, okay. Oh, wait, way over there. So, Page of Cups is here. So, they might be getting intuitive messages. They might be picking up on somebody's intuitive messages regarding this new love, regarding you, because we've got this here, right? So you're throwing, oopsie, wrong way. So you're like throwing your bouquets in the opposite direction, and we've got release in the reverse. So you're not released. They're not able to sacrifice you. And all of that love, all of those beautiful little flowers, all of that beautiful stuff that you're bringing to a family, you're not bringing it to one man. You're bringing it to a community. And you're hitting that bullseye. Your community's not letting you go. You're not being released out of this community. I don't know who this Page of freaking Cups is, but they tried to sacrifice you, it looks like to me. And now they're starting to malfunction because you're breaking the cycles. They have no control over you. They can't pull off of your beautiful bouquets. They're going in the opposite direction. You're hitting your bullseye. Your bullseye is the community, is this magnificent big family. You're no longer just giving it to this person here so that they can go play like Mr. Rich Casanova, rolling in the dough, success story. Nope, you're like, hey, you mismanaged my gifts. You took them on and said that they were your own while you hurt everybody I loved with them. So now they're not going to get nothing. They were not able to sacrifice you, and they're having a malfunction. They can't control you, and you're pouring all of your gifts into the community, and they're like, no, no. The ghosts, the walking corpses, they're mal-freaking functioning, man. They might be going through a negative phase. If they had called forth ghosts to try to unalive this woman, they may be causing them a malfunction. That could be a terrible thing. They're being restricted. They're being bound for comparing themselves to you. This isn't supposed to be a competition. They were supposed to be in contract with you to be, to become one and then build together on what they are as a foundational tree, rooted and crowned. And rather than do that, they tore the damn tree down, fed it to the damn devil, and said, okay, what do I get now? What's my reward for being a parasite? Gigolo wanted to know what his reward was for being a parasite and throwing this beautiful supply into the shadows, into the grave. They couldn't do it this time. What a jackass. Well, I woke up regarding tantric sex magic. For all I know, they're out there doing that. I woke up pissed off about it. I have no idea why. So yeah, right. So they're comparing wallets, and that's all. Hey, let's go be a prostitute, and let's go tag however many vaginas we can, and pull from that womb all of the money, right? Hello, everybody. So the King of Swords is here. He knows the truth about these people trapping the supply in this little box and then spending the supply. So now the supply is going straight into that community. They're skipping this dude altogether. This dude is getting 86th, man. He's out. He's out. They're choosing this feminine. They're choosing this feminine. And there's no exit for the puppet master. Because we have grown here. We've gained knowledge over the techniques that have been utilized to keep people ensnared and rotating through these circumstances. So we have grown in knowledge and awareness and energy. We've got the truth here with the Ace of Swords and these social mask wearers. They're frauds. They've been dressing up in the energy of those that they have been contracting with and snaring and keeping isolated while they pull off of their profit, off of their work, off of their knowing. They've been exposed. Oh, they've been exposed. Look at that. So they've been exposed. People can see. And they're here with the Seven of Cups in the reverse. They're buried in their fantasy. They have a lack of purpose. They could be seeking help. It could be that the woman who is helping them is seeking help. This person may be malfunctioning. This page's third-party cohort or whatever. This ghost. This person who's in an animated corpse, they may be seeking help. Like, oh no, we can no longer pull off of your energy. What's going on? Bond. Heart bond. It could be that your cry for help, maybe you have busted through. So we saw that card, busted through or breaking through. So it could be that you broke through the illusion, that you were able to cry for help, and that somebody came. Your true twin flame came from the distances, it sounds like to me. These people are confused. They're no longer going to be able to take part in this Ten of Cups total love and support thing because they had been utilizing their contracts for gain. And they were just consuming that rather than building it. They're supposed to be building the structure, and maintaining the foundation, and instead they were consuming it. These masculines, and micro, macro, singular, plural, take it as it resonates, but I usually read for macro. So this is planetary wide. This is all over the damn place. This is the mentality. These people, this is the Garden of freaking Eden, and they came in and they turned it in from a beautiful paradise into a freaking war zone and a brothel, a den of thieves. And that's who they are. And they've got some feminists who agreed to work with them for whatever reason. In the community, they were consuming everyone in the community. And I've heard these adversaries talking about marrying into the clan. So they marry into bloodlines, into family trees, and then they consume the tree. This is a bark beetle. This is a parasite, an invasive species coming from another dimension that, as far as I can tell, does not have actual females. So the King of Cups is here. So we've got true divine masculines here, and it looks like he's saying absolute and O. And so King of Swords is over there. He understands what these guys have been doing. They've been keeping you in a little box and siphoning the money from your effort. And I really honestly believe that that's where the taxes are going, because our taxes don't go to serve the government. You know, it goes straight into their damn wallets. This is a profit system, and we're the slave. And, you know, we think that our taxes are supporting the system, and it's just not. It's going straight into their freaking wallet. And they need more and more and more all the damn time. And they say it's going for this and that, and it never does. It never is. And right now we're losing all of these programs, and they're saying we're getting all of this money in, but I see nothing being put together to assist the people. I see everything coming apart. And there's supposedly all of this monetary gain, but I don't know where it's going. Do you? Maybe war to pay people to go hurt people. Rejection. So this consumer here, who's been feeding off of family trees, this parasite, they're getting rejected by the true divine masculine within this territory, the new foundation keepers, because they know the truth about their commitment to an empty nest. They weren't here to have children, to feed into the tree, to grow the tree, to nourish the tree. They were there to tear the tree down, to feed on it, and to drain it of its vital force and all of its wealth. So they're getting rejected. Because they had been feeding on the family trees in the community. They're all infested. Their favorite weapon of war is relationship. They're in a nightmare. You've done some great research. You know, all of your suffering hasn't been for nothing. All of these many lifetimes of betrayal and stuff, it's been etched in your soul, the memory of it. All these people, I've heard them say that you don't recognize them. The community doesn't recognize them because they're shape-shifting little, what do they call them? In the Matrix, those Agent Smiths. Yeah, they like to do that. So the walls are closing in, or the walls are coming down. So the walls are coming down, which could very well mean that the walls are going up. You know what I'm saying? Like once the veil comes down and you see it for what it is, then all of a sudden the wall goes up, right? So they're in a nightmare. A Nine of Swords nightmare. Despair. There's no more space for denial, only resolution. The walls are closing in on negative influences. So the Two of Pentacles here, we've got some, there could be some decisions being made by the twin flames. The two souls that were maturing separately, from what I can gather, you were in parallel dimensions and you were kind of mirroring each other's experiences. You may have been aware of each other and expecting each other to show up, but there was something keeping you separated. But now you're together and you're making some decisions together. So you finally you broke through. And they're in grief. Somebody's in grief over it. Somebody's in grief. The twin flames are here together, balancing, bringing like the scales are being balanced by the unions of these twin flames. You've got the King of Swords, the King of Cups. These are foundational keepers, and they know that these other masculines have what they've been doing with these contracts. So there's protection here for the seeds that are being planted within the community now. They're offering, the new foundation keepers appear to be offering protection within the territory. The eggs, the creation. Now crows, you know, what they are connected to the dead, right? Spiritual beings carry back and forth messages. They're protecting life. So it's like there is protection. These seeds, they're protecting life. Why? Because there's reincarnation, man. And, you know, it's important that there be a stable family or foundation here for our relatives to come back in for another cycle, if they're still doing that, unless they graduate out. But this is super important. It's not just here for an F fest, you know. Nature, luck. It could be your nature to be lucky, and you've had these people siphoning your stuff. You're going in a new direction. You're carrying everybody in a new direction because you survived what it was these ones were doing. Like you may have been in the valley of the shadow of death, hunted by this fox, this very clever entity, but you survived, and you're the anomaly. So everything that you've learned by elevating up and by surviving the brutality of this and being who you are, is you've got a lot of knowledge that is seen as valuable in this community. So it could be that you are free of the astral projectionists that have been curious about your home, stalking you. Like you could be free of them. They're no longer able to come into your frequency, perhaps. They could be at risk if they try to communicate with you because you have elevated into a sacred space where life is valued. And they could be receiving some kind of a warning. These upside down perspectives who've been mimicking you. They didn't like your perspective on reality. They got to keep their distance from you, or there will be wrath. They could be receiving wrath for all of the upheaval that they have brought to this environment. They're resisting. They might be resisting. They might be trying to distract people with some mirror magic and trickery. Yeah, and this is why they're receiving wrath, because they've screwed up a lot of people's lives. A lot of people, I feel, were falsely and deceitfully condemned for things that they absolutely did not do. They were using that digital whisper crap to create digital illusions and false evidence that was appearing real, but it wasn't. It was a setup. So people, and I feel like many of these people here were set up like that with this AI, with whatever this thing is, and they were framed and then trapped deceitfully and then brutalized for their essence. It's one of the cards on this deck here is the digital whisper, which is where they are catfishing people. They set up false accounts and they pretend that they're you. Yeah, so they were creating mischief in your life and scavenging all of your goods. And so now they're being displaced. They're being displaced, and everything that they, whoa. It could be whatever they're trying to put on you is just rolling right off of you, like you're protected. You're mega protected. And the history of the stuff that they've done here, of consuming the young or the innocent, the pure, they have an anticipation. There is nobody going to be there. Like, they're not going to be able to feed on anybody. They're afraid. Somebody's afraid of the night. You've brought this golden nugget. You've brought up a lot of information by surviving. This dominance and the way that they play. You've gathered a lot of really important information that can stabilize and perhaps strengthen the integrity of the community. Yeah, this play, the power of three or whatever that's been playing in the territory, battling with others for their profit, for their gain. So it could be that they have been, so they were spying on people with gifts. And then they were getting together as a team, and they were playing the over and back rule, right? They were crossing the half court line, going in, making sacrifices, and then coming back with the gain, your abundance. That's what they were doing. So we got some trouble. We got some trouble. We got some trouble. Oh, that wasn't very nice now, was it? That wasn't very nice. Who's this? Debbie, are you talking to me? Thank you, Zena B. Michelle. Hi, Lewis. Oh, it is. It's fabulous Sunday. I got a nice pot of tea over there. So the Page of Cups is here. He's been offering little cups of love, and we've got this. She's no longer offering it. So he wants to offer her a cup of love. And she's like, no, I'm gonna give all my flowers, all of my blessings. She's got her target. She's hitting her target. So she's throwing them in the opposite direction. She's not paying any attention to this. She's like, no, I'm already married. I'm married to my community. I'm married to my chosen family, right? Boom, boom, boom. And here comes the blessings. They weren't able to sacrifice her. They weren't able to release her. They weren't able to get this contract, and so she's sharing all of her stuff with her community over there. They're all mad. They're mad because they can't control it. They can't. All those blessings are going the opposite direction, hitting their bullseye, their intended target. Look, and they're heartbroken. They're heartbroken because you're giving your love to somebody else or somebody's, a whole community. And now they're in a 10, or the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Bad luck. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. So now we've got these ghosts are malfunctioning. They could be walking corpses. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Breaking the cycle. They're not going to be feeding on these blessings of this bride anymore. It's like God claimed the bride, the gifts, the community. It's like she's been gifted to a new community or something. These gifts are being given to a new community, a new diverse community. No prejudice, no bias, divinely guided union. So now these ghosts are malfunctioning. Oh, these ghosts are malfunctioning. The freaking Jezebels. So they got these cloned bodies or whatever. These copycats or whatever. It could be that they got the clones, like they animated corpses. They have to have sex. They gotta harvest the energy in order to keep themselves from decomposing, right? At least that's what I've been getting over the last many months. They have to have this energy because they're not their own supply. They're starting to malfunction. Their vehicle, which could be their body, their temple, is malfunctioning. They're a ghost. They're actually dead. And I asked, many years ago when I was still so incredibly suffering in the mental body, I asked Spirit, I said, who are these people? And they showed me two coffins. And I was like, wow, it didn't click, but it was a seed. And then I started thinking about it. So we got Jezebel. These are beings that could be like the dead that were given an opportunity to inhabit a cloned body. All they had to do is perform and go harvest energy or whatever. And now they're starting to malfunction. They're being restricted here. They're being bound because they were comparing wallets. They were coming in trying to harvest. Jezebel was trying to harvest the bride. And the bride is throwing her gifts in the other direction. So we've got this dude over here, and this Jezebel. And so we've got the bride. She's throwing her gifts in the other direction, and they're starting to malfunction. They were comparing. It's like she's alive. She's got a chakra system. She is her own supply, a powerful energetic force, source connected, right? To upper dimensional spaces and places and beings. And you've got this Jezebel who is from a lower vibratory place or realm or whatever, coming up to inhabit this body and then comparing wallets and then doing all kinds of atrocious things to try to drain the freaking gifts out of this bride so that they could appear as though they are that. They're the dead. And now they're malfunctioning. Their bodies, their temple, their vehicle. Oh, rejected. They're in heartbreak because they're being rejected by the bride. She's throwing her gifts in the opposite direction. She's got a new family. She's no longer serving these people. Oh my gosh. And that's a serious thing that I've been picking up. Like they're getting rejected for comparing wallets. It wasn't about comparison. It wasn't supposed to be about that. And as far as I can tell too, from the readings that I've been getting, is that this was a forbidden thing. This was a forbidden competition. It wasn't a competition. It was outright theft of life. Thou shalt not kill, So, but you got the dead up here killing. I guess maybe they don't operate by the same rules. I don't know. So King of Swords is here. He's got mental clarity regarding this being trapped in a cycle of consumption where you were literally everything, your energy and all of your gifts, all of your connections, all of your destined successes were being taken from you. Male or female. So there's no exit for these ones now because you have grown. They thought they had you trapped, but you grew beyond it. You became more than they gave you credit for. They unfairly assessed. They made an unfair assessment of you and your potential. So you are free now. You've got a new path. Because you've grown. You've grown out of their trap. You grew out of their trap. So you're free. And you've exposed the truth about these social masks, these people that are presenting themselves as leaders, as success stories. They're nothing like that. They're harvesters of energy, and they're actors and actresses, prostitutes. And they're sadists. They get off on the suffering of people. That they despise love. They're happiness haters. Because they suffer. They suffer. Whatever circumstance they got themselves sucked up in, they suffer. And the only thing that makes them feel better is to siphon off of this bride. I've heard them say that she's the antidote for their suffering. Your self-love. They were trying to mirror your self-love. They drain it off of you, and then they pretend that it's theirs. That's a bummer, man. They were wearing a social mask. They target people who love themselves, and then they trap them, and then they take it because it brings them wealth, and they take it. They take your personality. They take the reward for your effort. You're down there working your tail off, and they're up there reaping the rewards for your successes. They're malfunctioning. These Jezebels that are in those cloned bodies, those animated corpses, they're malfunctioning. They're not happy. It could be that you've broken through the illusion, the confusion, that you cried for help, and you cried real loud, and you're in this heart bond. It could be that people care for you, and this person is absolutely not happy. They wanted people to see you as they are. But it didn't stick to you. It didn't stick to you. And you're out there throwing your big bundles of roses, your big, beautiful gifts of this beautiful flower. You're sharing your abundance, the beauty. So 10 of Cups in the reverse. So it looks like they're being disconnected from contracts, marriage contracts. It could be that they're being disconnected from this territory of total love and support because they were using the community and feeding on them, trading their love and their pain for dollars. Defiling them sexually, and then betraying them and harvesting the suffering energy that they had just tagged as a supply. So they got to get out of the community. They can't be here. It's not safe for the family tree and the youth, the children that come from it, and that will rely on its stability for generations. The trickster that was casting these illusions, this phony, is in a firestorm of karma. They could be in a mental breakdown. The King of Cups, the love of divine masculine. So we got the King of Cups, the love, and we've got the King of Swords, the truth. They are rejecting those who were committed to an empty nest. They wanted to destroy the family trees of the community. Their favorite weapon of war is relationship. They wanted to marry into the clan and then destroy the tree, siphoning the wealth. These beings from another dimensional space where women don't actually exist, they just take on the role of, and then they screwed up the waters here, trying to turn our men into their bitches while they were siphoning the wealth out of the actual brides and doing whatever they wanted to do with the children. Lewis, I pray, you know what I pray? I pray that the pain, the suffering, the memory, and the trauma of it be released, but that the instincts and the knowing of the energy and the danger of it, the sensitivity to it remain, so that we can be wise and turn from the energy, and then without having to be traumatized by it from the memory on a daily basis. So we can be free to enjoy the flowers. So the King of Cups, love of divine masculine, is saying no to the empty nesters, to those who are devouring the trees of families as a side hustle. Freaking commitment. What? Side hustling. There's no children in that nest. Their commitment to a side hustle. They were committed to feeding on these family trees. They needed to marry into the clan. And then like a bark beetle, they destroyed the tree. Sold its energy and its spiritual inheritance and authority to an interdimensional hijacker. Uninvited guest. So they're in a nightmare. Nine of Swords nightmare. We've got the walls closing in on them because you have removed the veil. So you've torn down certain coverings, which then raises the bar. And I heard Spirit say that your survival through this and your emancipation has raised the bar on what it takes to be a member of this community. And it's a very diverse community. If there's any prejudice or any desire to feel yourself superior to anybody within the community, that is probably cause for expulsion. But yeah, the walls are coming down. There is no more space for denial, only for resolution. So you've raised the bar on Nasty Jack, on Casanova, because they're a negative influence. They turned everybody into a damn prostitute for hire, for money. And it was just a blame and a pain, a blame, a shame game. A wish. So you're getting your wish. You're made a wish. You're getting your wish come true. The walls are closing in on Casanova. You're tearing down the veil and the barriers. Like I mentioned, this territory, this new territory, there's like 30, 35, maybe 40 words. It's a different language. So it sounds to me like this new territory, whatever, it doesn't use this English language, this spelling, right? It's a different verbiage. So there is no hexing, cursing. You can't curse. It's like, you know what I'm saying, right? So we got the Two of Pentacles here. We've got, you are making decisions regarding balance. There's twin flames. The two souls have matured on either side of the glass, right? You were in parallel dimensions, and now you're coming together. Pachoom. And it could be, see, this is different. Now, I know that these nasties who are coming in, these are the two, they're coming in from a dimension, there's no women, so there's no womb of power, which means they're not connected to source, where the spirits come through the portal and the wealth that needs to support them is coming from that. So these ones were coming in from another dimension to harvest that. Whereas the twin flames, it appears to me, were cursed and separated by some kind of a freaking mirror or something where they could sense each other and perhaps see each other. Maybe one could and one couldn't. They have that stupid nebulizer, the thing from the Men in Black, where they zap your memories. And apparently there's a, what's her face? She talked about it. Ariadne, whatever her name is. Where they do the memory erasure thing. So it's a real thing. A karmic lesson. So somebody's in grief because you have learned your karmic lesson. And you get to come together. The twin flames are coming together. You have learned your karmic lessons. You were maturing separately. And you've learned your karmic lessons. And somebody's in grief over it. You're getting your wish. The walls are closing in on these negative influences. Somebody's in massive regret over trapping you in this round and round and round business of these stupid love spells. The masculine, a massive regret. They trapped you in there. And then they were bumping heads with their stupid little Jezebel. Your soul value is now mine. Oh, thank you, bride. Now give me all those damn flowers, right? Yeah, somebody's in massive regret over that because the twin flames have come together and they're turning their back on these false flames. Yeah, and they're ashamed of popping the freaking question. They're embarrassed for popping the question and then getting people caught up in karmic ties and toxic lifestyles. Because the true colors are seen now. You've got this rainbow covenant. You're a beautiful energy. And now they miss you. But the thing is that they're not you. This could be the fake you, the copycat, the fake news, the one who is spreading fake news. They might not be able to spy on you anymore, astral project into your home. The only time that they ever may see what's going on in your life is if you share a story or a picture or whatever. And they're running now. Because they've been fake busy. They didn't do a damn thing. They were siphoning the spiritual gifts off of a queen bee and then wearing a mask, doing shady shit with those gifts, trying to frame her as a freaking terrorist. And now they're not going to get shit. We got bad news. A psycho won't let go of some kind of legal matters. We got criminal paternity. We got some folks out there that have been having babies with hundreds of different people, whether it be in the natural way or just artificial insemination. We got some real nasties out there that have been doing some stuff, man. They've been thinking themselves superior and how their bloodline needs to proliferate the earth or whatever. But now we're closing the cycle where these jackasses have been feeding on the family of divine feminine. They're losing sleep. Those who are addicted, they love to hate you. And they're addicted to sex. That's how they harvest their energy, right? They can't sleep. They can't sleep. You know? They've been living in the moment by doing these workplace affairs, by getting a sugar daddy or whatever. No strings attached. Stubborn tyrant. Could be feeling like shit. Could be feeling like shit because you are happy single. You did it on your own. You discovered the truth on your own. Single, career focused, stress free, setting goals, doing you. Bright, shiny. Nobody's here helping you. Nobody's here guiding you. You are there connected to source, and these ones can no longer pull on you. The contract is over. But yeah, somebody, look, this I love you. We've got somebody who's into reckless sex, speaking words of love, coming in, I love you. Somebody may have done this to you in the past because it says that they left you hanging without closure. They may have martyred you or unalived you in a previous cycle, following you around lifetime after lifetime while siphoning your life, following you from secret accounts. They've got bad credit, man, a history of it, and now they're blocked. We got divine masculine on that card saying goodbye. This could have been a bad business deal. Could have been a bad business deal. And somebody's under, there's a jackass here under pressure, having some kind of anxiety. Wow. So we got sweet talk. There could be secret sweet talk. Somebody's sweet talking somebody secretly. Off and on again and off again. A spiritual freaking guru having an ego death. Maybe he's being ghosted by this feminine or these feminines. Downward spiral. He's like, what the hell's happening? Shocking news. He might get arrested. Oh my goodness. Because divine masculine is married to his twin flame. Ow. Somebody's getting readings. Wanting to play mind games. Backstabber trying to get readings. They're effed up over you. Why? Because you're faithful. Praying. Connected to source. They're drinking to cope with the fact that you're a beloved child of the Most High Father, right? And it's too late for this thug. There's a funeral. Crap, they're all up in their feelings about romance, being fed up with this stupid mirroring shit, getting left alone. Now they have to leave you alone. They might be soul searching, reflecting on what they've done. Take it as it resonates. It's amazing to me how these cards will actually tell a story like that. When you go through the deck like that, it's like, wow, it just tells a story. It's amazing to me how that works out. I'm always curious. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Kimberly. So the page is here making an offer of new love, but this bride is throwing like big bouquets of beautiful flowers at a different target. It's unity in diversity. So she's like married to a community now. And this Page of Cups, they weren't able to release her. Like they weren't able to sacrifice her. And she's throwing her blessings at a different target. Like, and they're not, she's like ignoring this altogether. She's there, but it's like and they weren't able to do a thing, right? And they're heartbroken over it. Heartbroken. It looks like there's a card in here turned over. They're heartbroken. Why? Because you're getting a new beginning. You're getting a new beginning, and there's 3 bouquets there. So it's like, oh, and the Uku was here last night, and he was talking about how he's a Cherokee Uku, spiritual advisor, and he said that there's the man things, the woman things, and the children things, right? So there's the 3 things. She's got 3 bouquets here. And she's not throwing them toward a single masculine. She's throwing them toward this target. And it seems to me like this is a community thing. Like she's not even looking at that masculine. They're heartbroken because this is a new beginning, a new journey. Like she's giving her love to somebody else, a whole big old thing. So we got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. They're out of control. They have no control here. And the Jezebel's ghosts are starting to malfunction. I really believe these are those clones or whatever. Like they might be having trouble harvesting energy. We've got look for, investigate, explore, search. They could be challenged because somebody was looking for you. Maybe somebody came here looking for these brides, these daughters of Eden, as I've heard them called before. So this page, it appears, is in heartbreak. They're being restricted with the 8 of Swords here. Could be imprisonment, some kind of imprisonment. They're being rejected because they were comparing themselves to whoever it was that they were contracting with. It's like they went and contracted with somebody, and it was supposed to be a union to build, to grow, to create. And instead, they looked at it as a competition. They gathered information on a target. They came in and gathered a contract with that target, and then they proceeded to do their best to destroy that target. They're here for war, and they use sex and marriage contracts as weapons of war. That's why everything's hypersexualized, and there's so much sexual abuse. And it seems to be that they're okay with it. That according to them, it's perfectly normal and acceptable behavior. You know, it's kind of wild to me, but that there's so many in the world that actually think like that. I have no idea what's wrong with them. Well, you know, we're in a new, they could be part, so apparently we're in like the 5th or the 6th generation of human. And it could just very well be that we're dealing with some folks who are part of those previous generations that are still with that particular mindset. I don't know, take it as it resonates. Take it as it resonates. So they're getting rejected because they were using these contracts as a competition, as a war, rather than building. It was taboo. It was criminal. It was criminal what they were doing. King of Swords knows the truth about them trapping you in a cycle of consumption. They were pulling forth the profit of your effort and your suffering. There's no exit for them. You have grown up through this space and place, and you are free. You've got a new GPS, and we've got single. So isolation, independent, alone. They have to leave you alone. Ace of Swords, you have the truth here. And these who are wearing social masks on other people's energy, pretending to be them by walking in that energy, they've been exposed. They've been mirroring your self-love, but they don't actually have love in them. They've been trying to mirror your soul song. It could very well be that you're wielding the truth of you. This is you. The truth of you has exposed them as a pretender. The truth of you and your song. And I've heard the unseen say, you know, there's a lot of good catfish and copycats. Now, mind you, they've been at this for thousands of years, apparently. So they're really, really good at it with this AI and stuff. and they can really do it well, you know. They're down into the teeth and you know, everything. I think that's why they don't like tattoos. They're difficult to copycat, but now everybody's in such a haze in their mind, they can't notice anything anymore. Except apparently, your love, your soul song, your prayers, the fact that you honor, love, and respect yourself. You were kept silent. They had silenced you. The truth is out. They've been exposed. They had tried to silence you. But you came out looking like love, singing these love songs. You got your wings. You're an angel. You've busted up out of this illusion. You may have cried out for support. Your prayers for help have got you this beautiful bond. Like, people may care for you. They may see what has happened here. They may actually care. And this Jezebel who's malfunctioning is not happy at all that you've got help. They're not happy. People care about you. They see what happened here. These are roses too. You got the orange ones and poppies. Look, you got the orange roses and the white roses. That big old beautiful heart. Sometimes when I think of my heart, I think of it like this, but I think of it as like a really paper thin crystal. Like a, sort of like a milky light filled, paper thin crystal heart. Kind of there like that with the inner light, just kind of, I like to think of that. So you got the roses, and the bride is throwing those roses into the target, into, it's a divinely guided partnerships. Yeah, so somebody's not happy because you are very firmly breaking up with these illusionists, those who have been gaining contracts just to sacrifice their spouse to the devil for a mere portion of what they could have produced should they have been willing to work and actually be the man that they profess to be. Thank you, Katerina. So you're very firm in this. You're like, hey, I'm done. You know, I'm wide awake, breaking up. Somebody's not happy. Not happy that somebody cares about you. They're very firm in their idea about it. Separation. They're not going to take part. You've been reconciled. So the twin flames have been reconciled. You've broken down the curse. And that was what was told the other day. Congratulations, you survived and you are identifiable. And the curse has been broken. So the twin flames are together and calling judgment here. So these have been consuming the trees. They've been marrying into the clan or the family in order to consume the wealth of that family tree. In the community, this phony has been tricking people with these illusions within the community. There's a firestorm of karma. They could be losing their damn mind. Look, they've been street exhibiting the beautiful purity of the roses, the children, the wives, these beautiful. So they've been, they've been exhibiting the purity of union, of sacred union, of family. They've been side hustling They've been committed to an empty nest, to side hustling, to using them as a side hustle. So the love, the true love of divine masculine is rejecting those that have done that, that were committed to side hustling, to Uber eating, okay? And y'all know, if you're into any of that, if you looked at it or researched it or fell into some freaking hole and were forced to look it in the face, yeah, somebody's in eternal regret for their side hustle of the nest and the contents of it. They're being rejected. Eternal regret. 9 of Swords, trauma and despair. The walls are closing in. You're removing the walls built by cultural differences. The language is changing, apparently, in this new cycle. It's a very simple, like my father says, keep it simple, stupid. I changed it to sweetheart because I don't really like to call people stupid, but apparently it's a Navy thing or something. The rule of kiss. So diversity. So it's like you coming together, you know. We all have special skills, special connections. And only these guys, you know, they separated, you know, what was it called? To divide and conquer through division. Encounter. You're getting your wish. You're going to get your wish. So these guys are in a 9 of Swords. The walls are closing in, removing the walls built by cultural differences. There is no more space for denial, only for resolution. These people were a negative influence. You're getting your wish. You may be encountering your actual person soon. Could be love at first sight, meet by chance. You might be out doing something, getting gas or whatever, I don't know. Take it as it resonates. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles here. There is some decision making happening here regarding union and love and balance. A settling of the energy for these twin flames. They've actually come together. The curse has been broken. They have come together. Somebody is in grief because you've learned your karmic lessons and you've broken the curse. You did everything that you needed to do. You managed yourself, and now they're missing you. You've learned your karmic lesson and they're missing you. But you're out of there. They can't keep you. Look, there's a forgotten person here that you may not remember. You may not remember this person. An unknown, confusing mystery. There could be a forgotten person here. Some back and forth, whatever. They may feel that there's an unfinished business. Ooh. Ooh. Miss you. You've reached your karmic lesson. The mystery person, the forgotten person. We've got unfinished business ascending. Okay. The mystery person. Your twin flame. There may have been a lot of confusion as you were separated by this mirror or whatever. You may have known this person centuries ago, before there was some kind of uninvited guest, some kind of weird infestation, posing as a man. Telling you, I was over there was cars and they were driving, but there were men everywhere, although one of them was wearing women's clothes. It's like they're here as a triangle, as a third party enemy. They got to come here and they got to snatch into the energy of these women in order to tap and tag those blessings. But it could be that you've broken the curse here, you and your twin flame, and somebody's in grief here that you've learned your karmic lesson. Miss you. They may miss you. Your person may be eager to see you. This could be somebody from centuries ago. There may have been some kind of a confusion or an illusion which had separated you. Take it as it resonates. We've got it's not over, unfinished business, leveling up, promoted. Reconciled, independent woman, and masculine there. So there's an understanding of what's been going on here. This craziness, how the energy and the life force essence of people has been being used and abused. It seems to me like, I mean, the horse, you know, is very, very powerful, you know, and they're full of these muscles. And when they run, they can run all freaking day until they're just lathered in sweat. They're so powerful. So that's a powerful light. And then this darkness that they tried to bury this person in, right? So there's this powerful light and a powerful darkness held in temperance energy. Reconciled, bringing forth understanding, repairing the damages that may have been done, revealing the truth about these interferences. Divine timing is here. There may be some kind of a message coming in divine timing. Maybe you're going to receive a message that the snake and this uninvited guest, this liar, this snake, there's going to be a pause. Like they're going to stop. They're no longer going to be permitted in the territory. They're going to be stopped. I've heard that they're being scanned. Anybody who comes into the territory, there's some kind of a scanning device or a detection device, and like at an airport or whatever. But apparently it scans more than just whether you got a weapon or something. Apparently it scans like a whole lot more regarding identity and perhaps species. And I was thinking about bells the other day and how they've taken them all out. And I thought if anybody, a leader or something, you know, I'm thinking leaders, they need to like be ringing the bell before they have their meeting, you know, walk around the freaking table, boom, hit a freaking bong, some kind of bell, see if anybody's wearing some kind of a camouflage or whatever. Anyhow, that was just a thought I had while I was laying in bed half awake the other night. So there's going to be a cool down, a pause of the lying snake, this uninvited guest. They are surprised. This is the moment of decision, and you're receiving what you have wished for. So the mirror they had been mirroring the talent of the rose. These bedroom trash. They had been mirroring the talent of the rose, of the sacrificed bride. And they're trash. They're a clown, man. They're a clown. Or a clown. A performer. We've got pets. Transformation. Crown. Take it as it resonates. The cats. The cats have been released. As far as I'm concerned, those false walls have come down. The false walls have come down. And those who are addicted, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing whatever they're doing. They could be in bondage. Some kind of torment. They might be trying to run away from the intuition of the apple, the daughter of Eden, the wisdom, death, sexuality, and the joy. The apple, the daughter, has the wisdom over this death, this sexuality, the joy, the affairs, the third parties, the hidden truth. Everything that was buried. There's a commitment here. You could be the key. You could have discovered the core of the problem. You're committed here. Could be that your protector is committed to you. They may see you as the key. It could be that everything that you have learned through these experiences is seen as valuable, and they're committed to protecting that knowledge. And you may have some kind of finances coming in, a fortune, a refuge. You belong here. And you're releasing those folks who gambled you. You're no longer going to be in their rooms, in their spaces. Spaces they once occupied will be empty. They took a gamble. You took a leap of faith. The shadow rolled the dice with you. They rolled the dice, and they thought if they hurt you badly enough that you would never come out of it or shine again. But here you are. You could be a lawyer, a judge. They've talked a lot about a magistrate and a dignitary, laying down the law, writing the history. So there's a female in 5D, 8D, whatever D, writing the history that we have just come through. And of course we have men here in the 3D space, this lower vibratory space where they like to blow shit up and unalive people on a regular basis. You know, they're trying to create their own story, but it's just a confusing, massive mess that everybody knows is a lie, and they have to unalive everybody in order to make it believable, right? Anyway, you could be the law. The scales are being balanced, and in the whatever D in the other space, there is a feminine here that is now pouring all of her blessings into a new target within the community. It's like she's pouring these blessings in the community. It's like she's the bride. She's been enfolded and embraced by this new tribe or whatever, and she's pouring all of her blessings into that. And these two are out of luck, man. They're just freaking out of luck, and they're really upset by it, you know, because she's like, hey, going the other way now, and they're malfunctioning. They can't keep their stuff. They can't keep their stuff going. The law is down here. The sun is setting. There's been divine intervention due to the history of what has been happening here. I heard God say the need for vengeance is in the history. So they're looking at the history, the evidence of the history, and they're setting the sun. The sun is setting. We've got divine intervention, serendipity. Somebody is a catalyst, and it could be that all of you that have survived and have been identifiable. You know, you're not seen as the copycat. You're the real deal. You're the miracle. You solved the damn puzzle by surviving. You brought forth all kinds of information that is so incredibly valuable to people who may experience this kind of a thing in the future. What you have gathered as crucial evidence. And perhaps methodology, however it is that you pulled through it, you know, whatever it is that you had to do to get through it, to survive it, you know, that's all very, very important information to people who are very serious about creating family trees and having them be successful for many generations. You got to empower the vibrancy and the life of those trees and make it so these lower vibrational densities can't touch it. And you got to be on the lookout for these bark beetles all the time coming in, wanting to consume you know, what you got going on here. Being a phony trickster in the community, getting a contract with a beautiful little filly and then using her as a street exhibit, prostituting the energy, right? With unseen Tom, Dick, and Harry freaking astral projecting into the house and just drawing off of the energy whenever they want to. Little jackwagon. They're in a firestorm of karma. They could be having a mental breakdown. You're walking away. You're breaking up with them. Jezebel is not happy. She is so mad. She insists you're not who you say you are. And it's so incredible that they feel their hatred and their vile verbiage thrown your way is going to prove somehow that they're what you are. Page of Cups is here, new love, but the Oath, there's unity and diversity. So there is a new, like a rainbow tribe. It appears to me there's various different colors of skin, and it appears to me that everybody of these various, I guess, ethnicities are coming together. They were all going to share the same language, which is a very simple language that doesn't have all of this weird magical hexing and cursing on it. So it'll be, and the Divine Mother stated that they won't be able to curse your land or your business. So it appears to me this is going to be a very safe space. There will be some serious safety measures probably put in place. Some people may find it restrictive, and the truth of the matter is that this just simply can't happen again. You know, the future of humanity depends on it. So they weren't able to sacrifice this bride. They're in heartbreak because she's getting a new beginning and she's resting. They're being let go. They gotta let go. Making room for a new beginning that's on its way to you now. She's releasing. She's throwing those bouquets at a new target in a different direction. They're in the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. They aren't coming along this time. They're resisting change. They don't have any control. The ghosts are starting to malfunction. These Jezebels, who are perhaps in the clone bodies, the pod bodies, they have to have lots of reckless sex in order to gather energy. And it could just very well be that they're not able to harvest. They could be having some kind of chaos. They don't know what to do. Move on. They're not able to move on. They're not you. They're not able to embody your energy. They can't be seen as you. I heard somebody, a catfish came in the other day, and they were called a clout chaser. And I guess right away she started to sing about who assigned her to this particular feminine. So she started singing names, places, faces, things, intentions. They're not able to move on because because of your investigative work. And you may not have known that you were investigating. You were just having an experience that sucked really bad. But you survived. And now they're in an Eight of Swords. They could be having negative thoughts, some kind of binding. They may have lost their gifts, their clairs. I heard a younger say, no clairs, some time ago, a couple months ago. So it seems to me that they're losing their clairs. They didn't have these clairs in the first place. They were marrying them. They were tapping into it. They have this little teeny tiny gift, and the feminine has this big, huge gift. And they married into it and then took all the gifts and then left her there, calling her a dime a dozen while brutalizing everything, using her gifts that were supposed to be used for creating a magnificent family tree. He was supposed to build the house and she was supposed to fill it with life. And instead, he decided to sacrifice her and feed her to the damn devil for a small portion of what he could have had if he hadn't have been so damn lazy. A hater. Look. So they were marrying into the divine feminine, the woman of power, and now they're getting rejected because they were seeing it as a comparison, a competition, and it never was that. They had what they needed in order to build the house, in order to fortify the foundation. That was their duty. But instead, they saw it as a competition, and all of the wealth that the Most High God, Goddess, Mother, Father gave to the womb man that was the portal for bringing forth life and to nourish it and to give it its best potential, to fill the house with the life and support it with everything that she had. They looked at it as a competition. They wanted to be seen as that. And so they took everything from her. And then what? They hardly gave her anything to do the job she was here to do, which was raise the best human being that she possibly could. These guys decided to go be a gigolo and a Jezebel and F around with this holy, sacred energy. It was forbidden. It was a crime. We've got you using your intuition on date night. You're not ignoring the red flags. You know that you got these people out here. You could be just rejecting them because they're thinking it's a comparison, you know, and you know that they target people that they're jealous of, and then they come in and then they get off on effing them, on literally having sex with their target and then tearing them down, you know. It's a sick little mental, they got this weird personality disorder, this weird thing. So the King of Swords knows the truth about you being trapped in this little tiny box and then pulling the profit off of your labor, off of your work. We've got no exit for them now because you have grown beyond their tactics. You are free and you are moving on. You've got a new pathway. You are single, isolated, independent, alone. You did it alone. And we have moving, changing residence, or moving in with a partner. You are single, maybe you're freed of any kind of contracts that you may once have been bound to. You're getting a new pathway. You might be finding somebody new soon. The Ace of Swords of here, your truth, your exposure of the truth has exposed those who were wearing social masks. They were pretending to be you. They kept you silent, and they were mirroring your self-love. They may have even tried to sing your damn song. Maybe they're being silenced now by your truth because of your self-love and your soul song. It's obvious that you are who you are, and these people tried to vilify you. Commitment. Yeah, so these people, you've exposed them. They were marrying people that they were jealous of, and then they were sacrificing them, and then they were mimicking them and dressing up in their soul value and presenting themselves to the world as though they were that, but it was just a complete fantasy and fraud. They're in the Seven of Cups reversed. They could be stuck in their fantasy. It could be that you've come into alignment. Somebody is seeking help, or perhaps your prayers for help have been answered here. You've come into an alignment. Help has arrived from unexpected quarters. Invisible forces of help guide you through troubled waters. And it could be, you know, I've been picking up on like there's unlimited numbers of universes, and you know, there's no space and time. So whatever your thought is, it travels to the limitless edges, and boom, whoever wishes to answer those calls are here, right? Instantly. So, you know, you are firm, and because you are firm, you kept your life clean. You didn't get lost in any addictions. You're not a sex addict. You're not a drug addict. You're not an alcoholic. You've got this, you're committed here to your heart bonds, to love, to partnership. You brought forth a lot of information about what was happening in this circumstance, and there's a breakup. You're walking away from Jezebel and Gigolo, and they're not happy about it. It's like, oh my gosh, they're walking away. This is a separation. This is the end. God said that this is the end of their relationship with batteries. They can no longer hook in and drain you of your life force through these Jezebel, these sexual encounters. They can't siphon your soul value and then walk around as that while they leave you trapped here in a little box that's been hexed and cursed and just kept you there in this stupid little box, forcing you to do labor for them while they siphon 40% of your wages called taxes. Yeah, that money right there goes into my wallet because that's my harvest. You know, they are the ones who have the contract. Oh, my harvest? My harvest is, you know, SSN number blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and this is their yearly profit. Oh, yes, these taxes are mine. These taxes don't go to support the government. They go to support your freaking spouse, whoever freaking sacrificed you. these little social masks, these little freaking, these little three-piece suit freaking tie wearing jackasses pretending that they're leaders. You've exposed them. And the truth, this profit system that they have, they're not happy. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. Look. Ah, damn. You're breaking up. People, these love spells. It could be that all of these people who have done love spells in order to get a relationship, it could be that they're breaking up now. Like all of these love spells are cracking. They're breaking. They're breaking. The fantasy, the illusion, the confusion. Everybody's coming into alignment. It's like it's all cracking. And they're breaking up. So if she had done a love spell in order to gain a relationship, yeah, it's coming undone. Breaking up. You're breaking up, Johnny. You're breaking up. They won't be participating in this Ten of Cups beautiful thing because they were trading in love for dollars, feeding this soul to a dark entity. They were casting illusions and trickery, creating trickery and fraud in the community by using relationship and marriage contracts as weapons of war. I've heard them say that they, on the first anniversary, they flip and copycat them. They transfer the soul value, the memories, all of that into a clone or a robotic, whatever the hell, I don't know. And then they replace them. And then they do whatever, genetic harvesting. They make them into a street exhibit. They betray them. And so now they're getting a crazy freaking shitstorm of karma. Exactly what they deserve for betraying the community in such a way. We've been infested by uninvited guests, these parasitical entities from another dimension that doesn't hold women. They're here harvesting, and while they're here, they're feeding the men atrazine in the water because they want to change their gender and turn them into their little bitch. It's exactly what's been going on. There's synthetic estrogen in all of the canned goods and in all of these plastics that people heat their foods in the microwave. And people wonder why they're so screwed up. And this isn't the only thing that they're doing to change the frequency of people's thought patterns. We've been infested by an uninvited guest. They've been using an interdimensional doorways to come here with their little suits. Guardian. So you're protected. The roses that these ones had been gaining contract with and then flipping and copycatting. So you're protected. Yeah, you're protected. And there's a firestorm of karma coming for the trickster phony. A whole lot of them. There's a whole lot of these people that had tricked their way into an Eden, a heavenly space, and they turned it into a brothel and a war zone. And they decided that there was only specific people that were worthy of being there. And the thing is that they were a phony. They're a freaking phony. A prostitute phony. They're for harvest. And they want to kick everybody out. Except for their own. They want to take it over. Is what it is. It's an interdimensional warfare. They want to command the consciousness and the land. Within the community. Within the community. So they can't be here because in the last cycle, they've been consuming the life blood of the community. They've been defiling sacred union. Because they want the land, they want the wallet, they want the authority, the status. They want to be able to tell people whether they can or they can't. And they want to be able to hurt people with your energy and your gifts. King of Cups is emotionally balanced. He can see, he's an empath. He's an empath. He's rejecting these people. that were committed to side hustling the youth of these unions, of these family trees that they were infiltrating, these bloodlines. They were destroying the ancestral lines of entire freaking family trees, side hustling the youth. Uber Eats, man. We've got eternal regret. Health issues could arise. They're an eternal regret. They could be sorry that they caused health issues for you. Nightmare, Nine of Swords, insomnia. They might not be able to sleep. They're depressed. The walls are closing in. You're removing the walls built by cultural differences. So there is, oh, thank you. Thank you, Chris. So you're removing the walls of cultural differences, but in so doing, you've raised the bar. Like there's like, it's gonna, like, if this were school, there's a few more levels that they have to go through now, because they thought that you were on an impossible path. They did not think that you were going to come out of this. All of them with their sorcery and all that shit, and all this trickery with this stupid sexual tantric whatever the hell. Yeah, they were binding people, and they were using your own energy to do it. So it's like they're being let go. There's a let go. They're sorry about that. There's no more space for denial, only resolution. You're getting what you're wishing for. You're going to meet your person. You might encounter your person. The walls are closing in for those people who were of negative influence. Someone's got their eye on you, doing your research. Somebody might be spying. You might be being watched by your person. Protected, guardian. The pure roses that had been, had this illusion cast over their lives. The energy of Jezebel had been cast over their lives, even if they weren't actually being used as a street exhibit. The energy of Jezebel was covering them and making them appear that way. It could be that is now protected. You're protected from that magic, from that, what do they call that, caparot or whatever. They can't transfer that crap to you anymore. So we've got the Two of Pentacles here. You are balancing some stuff together, multiple priorities for the twin flames. These souls who matured separately but have broken the curse and actually come together. Somebody is in grief that you have learned your karmic lesson. They may miss you because now they're experiencing some kind of challenges. A water sign at a distance that lied about you, took a gamble. They might be taking a gamble and trying to travel toward you, but luck is on your side. Your heart is open. I don't know. Somebody's hoping that the luck will be on their side and that your heart will be open. They're hoping what? You'll take back an earth sign? Wow. They might be doing something with pets and magic, trying to manifest they want to get you pregnant. Forgiveness, they want to start something new. They want to birth something with you, honeymoon. And we've got no, now is not the right time. Patience, just a few more months, because we're in the process of divorcing out these third-party enemies and these narcissistic, sexual ties and corded connections, these lines of thievery. There could be somebody wants to confess something It could be a fire sign is confessing. It could be that a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, is coming forth with information regarding what they have illuminated with the sun that is in them. Something is ending and something is beginning, and you may be giving it time before you entangle with anybody. You may be using caution because these ones have vowed that they're going to be back. So you got to keep your eye out because the threat is still very much alive from these confused, hypersexualized, whatever. This could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air sign, stalking you. You know, they love this brutality, this infidelity, this nasty behavior, and please, if this does not resonate with you, don't take offense. Absolutely. Don't make it fit. Don't assume I'm talking about you if it's not for you. Definitely don't want to fight, man. I don't particularly like it. Thank you, Susie Puck. Hello, Bicker. Hello. So Page of Cups is here. Could be surprised. They're not able to release you. This bride, she's got like 3 bouquets of roses and she's tossing them over her back, but they're going in the opposite direction of this page. They're in heartbreak because there's a new beginning here. There's a rest and a new beginning. They're being let go from this new beginning. Because they weren't able to take out this bride, and she's throwing her stuff the opposite direction. It's like they tried to like unalive this bride, like maybe in the 4D, and it didn't work out. They weren't able to harvest her, and now everything she has, like plethora, boom, 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 over the back, and she's got a new beginning. She's just throwing out these blessings, and she's hitting her target. And it's not where he is. He's being let go because she persevered. She persevered. And she's being divinely guided toward union. Her gifts are going in the opposite direction of this person. Her twin flame is up there. They're in grief because they're having challenges now. So they're in the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse. They're having bad luck. These ghosts are malfunctioning. Jezebel is in an animated corpse. They got to have lots of reckless sex in order to harvest energy, life force energy. Look for, investigate, explore. We've got move on in the reverse. Whatever you have discovered here, investigated here, they're not able to move on. Jezebel can't move on. They're malfunctioning. They're a ghost. They got the value of a dead person. And a lot of these do. That's what Spirit said. Before I even knew this, many years ago, they said, with those coffins that I mentioned earlier, they said that they have the value of dead men. These other men. They weren't talking about Jezebel at that time, but so it's like these men, there's no life in them. They have to get it through these sexual encounters, and they got these rings, these trafficking rings and stuff, and that says that's their supply, it's their energetic supply. They come in and they download all of the nasty, vile, malicious crap into the womb, and then they extract out all of the gentle purity, right? And then they walk around. Hey, I'm a success. I'm a success. You see. Look at all that doubt. So they're not able to move on. You've done some investigation. You found what you were looking for. This is a Jezebel that's got the value of a dead person. They're walking around in an animated corpse. These people have been having sex with a dead body, an animated corpse. It's only animated by the sexual energy that it's picking up. Oh, but mind you, you know, the body is perfect. You know, it's so beautiful. They can really make them pretty, you know, absolutely beautiful. Eight of Swords here. They got some negative thoughts. They're being restricted. They were comparing with you. It was a comparison. They wanted to be seen as you. They're being rejected now. You're using your intuition during date night because there's this forbidden love. You're rejecting them. You don't want anything to do with them. You're interested in relationships that are serving the higher good. King of Swords knows the truth about this puppet cycle of consumption, this stupid cycle of consuming others, keeping them trapped here. There's no exit for them because you have grown, you have elevated, and you are free. You've got a new pathway here. You are single and you could be moving, changing residence. This is the end. Moving in with your partner. This is the end. It's over. We got the Ace of Swords here. You've shined a light on the truth. You've exposed these people, these wearing masks, these three-piece suit people with their little ties and stuff. They were keeping you silent. They could be coerced. They might be like bribed for whatever they did. They could be bribed. But they could have been wearing a mask, trying to make themselves appear as you. But your truth here, your love and your soul song and your commitment to getting things done has exposed them. We've got denial. They're receiving a denial. They're being denied a commitment. They're being silenced. They're being silenced. They were committed to silencing you and your soul song. So now they're getting denied. I heard one of these. He said I could keep her forever. All he had to do is bury you and keep you and shut you down in every way possible and then just suck the life out of you. Oh, he was so proud of himself. So freaking proud of himself. Your prayers have been heard. You're in alignment here. You're in a heart bond. You're firm, wide awake, and decisive here. These little Jezebels who've been doing love spells to capture a mate, they're not happy because they're experiencing a breakup. We got self-esteem, possessing gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. There's a breakup. So they're losing the people that they did love spells on in order to gain a relationship. There's an end here. There's a separation. There's a separation between those who've been doing love spells on people in order to gain relationship and those people who actually possess gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. Look, they're not happy. They're like, give me back those gifts, you little, yeah. Just come over here. Let's go have some sex. Let's kiss and make up, whatever. 10 of Cups in the reverse. Shattered freaking dreams. They were feeding on you. They were just feeding on you. They were trading you in for money. That's how they got rich. They didn't have to do a job. They don't have to go out and do toil and labor. All they got to do is have sex, have a good time, right? Cast an illusion throughout your energy. And they were doing that with everybody in the community. They were framing people for this and deceitfully convicting them of this and then having them kicked out for punishment of a crime that they did not do. It happened to me. It probably happened to many of you. You're here gathering your information. You are protected. These beautiful white roses, you are protected here. Your guard, you're being protected. You're being protected from the blame that they keep trying to shove your way to make you and force you to carry. It's not yours. You didn't do it. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. You're being protected from this. King of Cups here, empathic. He's rejecting these ones. and they cannot break free. They were committed to this Uber Eats, this side hustle of the children. And now they're in eternal regret. There is some health issues that could be arising for somebody. Maybe they're in eternal regret for causing health issues for others. They're very prideful. These very prideful people are in regret regarding health, messing with your health, affecting your growth, getting involved in your freaking consciousness, your awareness, your ability to grow and expand. They wanted to dumb everybody down. They wanted to defile the language, the way that we interact with each other, the way that we present ourselves. They didn't want the people to be seen as noble, moral, ethical people. They wanted them to be seen as Jezebel, as prostitute, as disease-ridden, unworthy, chaos, insanity. So we got the Nine of Swords here. They can't sleep. The walls are closing in because you have torn down the walls of cultural differences. These guys are out there. They're crazy. They're talking about Negroes. They're talking about heathens. Speaking of the indigenous, the Native Americans. And it's just so wild to me that this bride is throwing bouquets of roses at these people, completely the opposite direction of these pages who have been making love offers to gain a profit, to prostitute themselves and everybody in the community by using proper words of love and marriage contracts to infiltrate the family trees and to destroy the tree and to siphon out the wealth. And then to take it back into their other dimensional space and place that doesn't actually have that stuff, right? Adversity. So we've got the Nine of Swords here. They're in trauma and despair. The walls are closing in. Yeah. So you've removed the walls by cultural differences and other divides that once seemed unbreakable. Spirit said that the curse had been broken. So of these negative influences, they can't control your mind or drive you into these pathways. You're getting your wish. It could be that your person is watching you. You might be meeting by chance or something. Love at first sight, a crush. But we've got adversity here too. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. It could be that your person is watching. It could be that you have an adversary that is spying on you. The walls are closing in. They know that you're about ready to have an encounter. They're watching. They really want to make sure that it doesn't happen. The curator was like, no matter what happens, make sure she doesn't get this opportunity for love. They don't want this being of love to have an opportunity for love because you're balanced. You bring a perfect state of harmony wherever you go. Perfect balance. And they're envious of this. They're envious of your discipline, and they want to dress up in your energy and pretend that they are that, even though they're nothing but a Jezebel gigolo out there effing the whole world up with your energy now. And isn't that great? No, they don't deserve it. They failed. Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah, there could be your person or whatever, or your adversary is spying on you. They know you're going to get your wish. They're in eternal regret. You're making some decisions here with the Two of Pentacles in this twin flame union. You have become whole individually, and now you're coming together. Somebody is in grief. You've learned your karmic lesson, and it says, I miss you. They've got challenges here. They have failed to mess you up, to screw up your world, because you're courageous. You face your fear with acceptance. You accept the things you cannot change, and you move forward with courage anyway, and you honor the physical vessel that enshrines your soul and your mind. And these ones, they were trying to get others institutionalized by driving insanity through their mental. Is crazy what they were doing. And they're in regret now because you know that there's no greater goal than to love, and you have moved through this challenge successfully. They need to surrender their need to control you. And perhaps your friends, who it is that you come into alignment with. They left you alone. They're guilty of abandoning you. Now they're worried. Now they're worried about your love and your balance. You're restoring it. You're going to be healing whatever damages that they have done. And they're mad. They're envious of your discipline. They want forgiveness, which means they want permission to stay in your energy, to continue toying with it and filthying it with their irresponsible, malicious behaviors. They're afraid here. Why? Because you're free and you're happy. You're free and you're happy. And what? That makes them in grief. They're in grief here because you're an abundant, limitless being that can manifest whatever you desire in this physical reality. You are honest. You speak the truth even when the entire world is lying. You focus on the lighter side of life. You will know that when you are happy, you are on the right path. Regardless of how it hurts, you got to focus on what matters, right? Everything in divine order. First and foremost, be patient while you come into alignment for your purpose. These ones don't know what to do. Or maybe you just use your intuition in all aspects of life. You're here in service to the community. Grateful and thankful for life. These people are under judgment. There's a change here. We're releasing the negative energy. You're a peaceful being of love, an empath. And you trust the inner voice that guides you correctly. See, these people thought that when they left you alone, that you were really all alone. Why? Because they're not connected to the inner voice. They got the AI insanity programs that they kind of push into the mental body of the delicate transmitter receiver of an organic divine being that is here to receive messages from the upper dimensional spaces and manifest it into the world. They know how to push in thoughts and make it sound like you're insane as they run script of insanity through your mind. They can do that. Absolutely. It's Wi-Fi, man. Technology. But you trust the inner voice there. You are interconnected. And while they were doing that to you, other people were listening. And now that you've learned discernment and you've broken through the chaos, all is seen. And people are upset by that. Your perseverance. They couldn't release you. They couldn't sacrifice you. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. Oh, let's try these. I'll pull one more card. Couple. Ooh. All right, what do we got up here? The roses are being tossed into the community. Persevering. Somebody's in a heartbreak over this new beginning for this bride. They got to let go. They got to let go of this bride. All of her beautiful roses, all of her beautiful love, all of these beautiful gifts are being... They're hitting their target and they're not hitting that page. They're going in the opposite direction. It's like she's married to a whole community now, not just a person. But her twin flame is up there too. You are your own torch bearer. Let your truth guide others. Your light is needed. The daughter of Eden, you're the gift here, and these ones didn't love you for what you were, the abundance that they wanted to be seen as. They wanted to be seen as the abundance, and they wanted to make you seen as that you were not responsible enough to handle the energy and the life force that you simply are. These people are Joe Lazia all the freaking way. Freaking oversized, freaking egotistical, um, teddy bear man or whatever, man, wanting to dress up in a freaking three-piece suit and pretend like they're the man. I don't know, man. But you're the torchbearer, and your light is needed, and these nasties are heartbroken because they got to let go, or you're letting them go. You're not throwing your gifts in their direction. They're in the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. They're going through a negative phase. You've broken the cycle of these ghosts, these Jezebels. They're starting to malfunction. Their vehicle, their temple, their house is malfunctioning. They're a ghost. They can't move on. You have done some investigative research. You've explored here by being here. And now they're having doubts, so they can't move on. You no longer need the masks. Let them fall away with grace. You are ready for your next form. So the masks they're just falling away. You're just letting them go. You're taking your gifts and you're throwing them elsewhere. You're not going to animate these corpses so that Jezebel can continue going out there and siphoning energy off of people with this reckless sex. They don't need to use your energy to go screw up the community and then gain benefit off of your value, you know? They don't have anything to offer. The value of dead men. There's nothing that they have to offer besides a pleasurable body. But there's a song out there. I can't remember the songstress. She was talking about how there was like maggots and stuff and how somebody had just had sex with it the day before. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, what would it be? I mean, seriously. This is the life that these entities really wanted to have here. While we fed them. Eight of Swords, there's a lot of restrictions here. They were comparing themselves to you and they're being rejected. What they did here was a crime. It was forbidden. So you're using your intuition regarding date night. You're attracted to those people who serve the higher good, and you don't particularly, it sounds to me like you're rejecting this. Even in ruin, you remain whole. Your soul cannot shatter. Every piece holds wisdom. So no matter how many times they tried to shatter you, to break you, to annihilate the presence of you, every single piece that got put back together holds wisdom regarding this taboo, this crime, this criminal behavior. And so you brought all that up. You are attracted to relationships that serve the higher good. You're using intuition when it comes to date night. The King of Swords knows the truth. I have heard them say that the wisdom that you have gathered here through these challenges and trials is important to them. It has value to them. They know what was happening while you were trapped in this cycle of consumption. And it wasn't just the feminine, it was the masculine too. I'm not here to argue with anybody. There's no exit. They had you trapped in a loop, an infinite loop where there was no exit. But you were able to grow up out of it anyway. And you're free here. You got a new pathway. You're single. You did it all on your own. And it could be that you're going to be moving in with a partner, changing residence. This is over. We've got death here. This is the end of that. You could be moving in with a partner, your twin flame. Both of you overcame these challenges. You came up with some new information, some new solutions, perhaps, to difficult circumstances. Death and birth are my path. Transformation begins when you surrender. Let what no longer serves you dissolve. Something divine is waiting to take its place. So it could change of residence, moving in with your partner. You did all this on your own. There's death here. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Death and birth are my path. It could be that you're the Alpha Omega. Maybe you and your twin are the Alpha Omega. Rose. You got the Ace of Swords here. You have brought the truth about this, what these mask wearers in their little three-piece suits have been doing. They've been keeping silent their commitment, silencing the soul song and the love of those that they were getting a marriage contract with. They were mimicking their energy, pretending to be the one that had the privilege to be in that authority. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, thank you. They were mimicking you. You are a living flame. Burn through illusion and fear. Radiate with fearless truth. And that's exactly what you did here. You exposed these social mask wearers. They were marrying and then they were mimicking the energy while silencing the one who actually had the authority and the ability to be in the energy and to express the energy properly, safely, responsibly. But you got old nasty Jack here wanting to be the big bird, right? You broke through the illusions. You broke through the illusions. You were crying out in prayer, perhaps. Maybe you are. Maybe your cries for help have been answered. Invisible forces of help guide you through troubled waters. You're breaking through the illusions. You've got a heart bond. You're firm. You're clear. You're not an alcoholic. You're not a sexaholic. You're not a drug addict. You're not out there doing mean things to people. You're not being mean to yourself. You actually love yourself. You actually love your twin flame, even though you may have been kept apart for centuries. You know, it could be one of the things that you may have always hoped for. To be with somebody who possesses gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. Somebody with a proper outlook on life. Somebody's not happy. Those who are doing love spells to gain a relationship, they're not happy because the love spells are backfiring. They're not working out. They're experiencing a breakup. The love spells are being canceled. They're so upset. That's how they were getting their gifts. They were tapping into somebody who had gifts. And then they were like, your soul value is now mine. Thank you. I'm a low value little Jezebel, but now I've got all your soul value and I can run around like it's me. And I should have this big program and I should have all these candles and these beautiful little trinkets. Oh, it's so, just don't worry. You know, yeah, it's elevated pricing because of what? Because of promotion, a name, a connection, a marriage connection. People think, you know, these low life Jezebel witches or whatever these love spell little nasties are, they think that because they're clever with their magic that they should have these big businesses and stuff, you know, because they were able to snatch up themselves a little divine masculine that had some kind of status. Vice versa. Do what you need to do with the genders, please. What about this love spell, Jezebel, break up, break up. This is a separation. This is the end. This is the end, and they're not happy. I rise from the ashes with brilliance, and that's exactly what you did. And you came up and you got your heart bond. Somebody else was here trying to mimic you. They wanted your twin flame. But you were very firm, and you rose up out of the ashes, and you're seen as who you are. You survived, and you are identifiable. I rise from the ashes with brilliance. You are not broken, you are being reborn. Every fall carries the seed of awakening. Rise again, brighter than ever before. And this person who did love spells on your person in order to trap them into this stupid little binding or whatever, yeah, they're not happy. Jezebel's not happy. Her body's malfunctioning, man. She's a ghost. She's got the value of a dead person. She's malfunctioning. She could be rotting. She's not able to move on. The mask fell away. And it says you are ready for your next form. It could be that the body they're in is about ready to transition because they're not able to draw forth the life energy from this masculine that they had trapped with a love spell. They were feeding on this person, so they're getting cut off. They were actually feeding on the person within this community, a phony trickster, a freaking Jezebel that had been wearing the energy of this silenced person. They thought they had you trapped in a no exit position. But it looks like you were recognized and lifted out of that. That's crazy. So they're in a firestorm of karma for casting all of these illusions, these phony tricksters, these pretenders that were in there just effing families every which way, causing drama and trauma for everyone. They could be having a mental breakdown. You're innocent and you are being protected. These ones have to accept the responsibility for their own well-being. Fire is your transformation. Let the flames refine, not destroy you. Your soul remembers how to rise. This fire is your sacred gateway. So you are the phoenix, and you have risen from the flames to be reborn. And these ones have to accept the blame for their own stuff, because you are who you are. I burn what burdens me. You are not your limitations. Cast them into your sacred flame. Let nothing hold you from flight. King of Cups, rejection. He could be blaming himself. It also says unable to break free. So I don't know if this is, oh, thank you, Emilio. So I don't know if this is a King of Cups who is rejecting the side hustle, who is committing to Uber eating the eggs from the nest, right? Within the community, this phony trickster within the community, right? They had been Uber eating the nest. So it's like they were gaining contracts within this community, but then they were consuming them for money. Like they were gaining the wealth of a soul by consuming it. I heard in there, like a few months back, there were some folks trying to get into a territory, and I heard females say that they had ate their own and they did not deserve to be covered by it. So they ate their own child in order to be seen as innocent and pure. And then they were trying to come in to a territory that requires a specific level of purity. So that's what we have going on. Tricksters, phonies, illusionists casting magic spells after consuming the eggs out of the nest. The side hustle. They were taking the soul value out of an innocent child, consuming it, and then presenting themselves as worthy of the gifts and the wealth belonging to that soul. Freaking side hustle. You've grown in consciousness and awareness. These people are very prideful. They could be having some health issues. I dance with the sacred flame. Well, they're famous projectionists, Sizzy. Absolutely. Everything they say of others is exactly what they think of themselves. They just don't know it because they're not quite that intelligent. Or they do know it, and that's just their modus operandi or whatever. So, I dance with the sacred flame. Let joy meet transformation. Celebrate the fire as your partner. Burn beautifully. You may be a firebender, an airbender. You may work with fire. You may have grown in the flame that these ones tried to burn you in. It may have transformed you. I place trust in my inner fire. Your fire knows your path. Let your passion guide your way. Be bold in your becoming. You have become a new creation. A new creation. You have whatever. So this is, I heard this curator complain that you have been accepted, acknowledged, received honors because of the brutality, the torturous criminal behavior that you had to endure and persevere through. So they're really upset that not only are you a member, but you're an honorary member because of what you endured. They're really mad. They want your soul value so freaking bad, but they weren't able to take it. And you're recognized, identifiable. So they're in a 9 of Swords nightmare, despair, because you are removing the walls built by cultural differences, which means and you've raised the bars. You have raised the bar on what it takes to gain access to this space. There are people there that perhaps still feel for them because we're gentle creatures, but the walls are closing in on those who are here with a negative influence, teaching people how to smoke, drink, do drugs, have reckless sex, do magic on people to destroy their lives. You're getting your wish. You may have an encounter soon, meeting by chance. Somebody is spying on your adversity. Someone's got their eye out on you. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Somebody is spying on your adversity. They may be watching it. This guardian, this could be your guardian here, making certain that your energy remains pure. Yeah. Wow. Must have been on here a long time. Well, that wasn't quite accurate now, was it? So they're in a nightmare, yeah, because somebody could be spying on those bringing you adversity. They've done their research. Perhaps you've done your research on these entities that are bringing so much adversity. It could be that you've got the King of Swords and the King of Cups here rejecting the side hustle. You've brought forward a lot of information that has a lot of value and is important to the true divine masculines over how you had been these roses, these oaths, these put a ring on it and then trap them on their anniversary and replace them with the copycat. There's no divorce. They just continue pulling off of your gifts and then wearing a mask and pretending that they are that while commanding your post, your role, and then, dragging everybody down, destroying everybody, because that's your intention, is to destroy the integrity of the family unit within the territory so that they can just absorb the wealth of it. I become stronger each time. Every fall feeds your ascent. You are built for cycles of becoming. Let this be your greatest rise. You and your twin flame are making some decisions here regarding multiple priorities. There's a lot going on. The world has been infested in a big way. These people are in grief that you learned your karmic lesson. They miss you. There's changes here. They have failed in their endeavor against you. They're upset, of course. They're in grief. They can't trap you. They can't hold you back. They can't keep your gifts. Those gifts are being, right now in the environment, they're being tossed in the opposite direction of this page. They're being let go. They're in heartbreak. You are your own torchbearer. Your truth is guiding others. Your light is needed. The value that you have learned here is important to these foundation keepers. Rebirth is forever my path. You are infinite becoming. Let this lifetime be one of many risings. You are the phoenix, forever renewed. And you are here in union with your twin flame. The curse has been broken. You have graduated through your challenges. And you have finally grown. You've grown beyond this circumstance. You are free. You are free of this circumstance. You've grown beyond it. And the King of Swords knows the truth of it. Whatever you have learned here has great value. I am the sacred flame itself. You hold the divine spark. You are not separate from power. You are the flame incarnate. You are both fire and ash. Your past and your power coexist. Do not shame the ruins. They are sacred. You rise with their strength. My light is born in fire. Brightness comes not despite fire, but through it. Your glow is your story. Let yourself shine without apology. I choose resurrection willingly. Rising is your sacred choice. You don't wait. You ignite. Step into rebirth with power. My soul knows how to rise. Trust your deeper knowing. You've done this before. Rising is your nature. Let your essence lead. Well, everyone, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I do hope that you have a most pleasant day. Thank you so much for existing in the best way you can with what you are given. I appreciate you. Be well, everyone.